Live. Hey folks, I hope you're all having a great afternoon. It is a Sunday, and so I want to shoot a video. A friend brought this to my attention, which I'm sure many of you have been just bombarded on crypto Twitter, because this app apparently is just blown up. I've read somewhere that it's generated like the total fees like number 3 on from dApps on any blockchain, and from my brief little looking into last night, some of the tools, some of the profiles, some of the a couple of YouTube interviews, etc. It seems like it hasn't been around all that long, maybe just a few weeks, but this is new, I think, to a lot of folks, and I do think that it's got some hype for good reason. So let's get into it. My name is Justin. You're on Fast. Welcome to the channel. Let me turn down this AC. All right. So, talking about Friend.Tech. That's right. And Friend.Tech, like I said, was brought to me by a friend. I was actually having a garage sale, yard sale this weekend. It was nice, I get to meet some of the neighbors, but at it. So, Friend.Tech, what is it? It basically is a way to monetize or shares, or buy and sell shares of people's Twitter profiles. Now, why would you want to do that? Well, right now, the app is early, it's in beta, and basically it says that it gives you, you buy a share, your favorite profile, and you get access to like a special chat. So you can send and receive messages with your person. And so, like right now, one of the top guys, Kobe, I think he's got like 168, shares out and selling for 2.6 ETH. That sounds like a lot. And so I'm still trying to figure out exactly the precise formula that the pricing of the shares works. The way that it looks like, you can buy and sell them at any time, but the people that buy early, like the first several shares, seem to get the low price. And then it seems to be incremental, that the price goes up incrementally for like on the margin for the next share and the next share and the next share and the next share. And so then, like, if you cash out, then you sell at that price and it goes back down. So I don't know if it's an exact formula or a bonding curve, whatever they want to call it, but I was trying to look and see, like, the number of shares versus others that have the same number of shares, some at exactly the same price. It did seem to be some discrepancy, at least from what I've seen, so I don't know the rhyme or reason behind that, but it seems to me like there's a couple strategies here, like people that want to buy shares of, member profiles, being early seems to be the thing. And then, if they really do have a lot of members, somebody had mentioned that there was a correlation between somebody who was running a bot script, right? They were, I think, trying to identify like what large accounts, like the large accounts that were signing up for Friend.Tech, and can you snipe those right away? So I don't know, and bots, we already know about bots, and bots are always going to be there, and they're always going to be faster than manual. So, as of this recording and my little bit of research, like this guy had said that, like 6 bots out there. There's probably more. But anyways, if you're not running a bot, I still think there's probably going to, be opportunity appreciation. However, there's a couple downsides, but before I go to the downsides that I saw, were you can also earn a percentage of trading fees. It looks like every time a share is bought or sold, there's like a 10% tax, and so like 5%, I guess, goes to the Friend.Tech, but the other 5% seems to go to I think the creator, like the actual Twitter account, the influencers. That can seemingly add up. Like if people are buying and selling your shares, regardless of what the price of your shares are, you could be, having people buying and selling and downsides. First downside is, so this app, it's got a pretty interesting way how it's done. It is on the base blockchain, but this app generates a unique separate wallet, and it looks like they have the private keys. It does say that you can export your wallet. When I clicked on that link, it seemed like it wanted me to copy and paste, which some people would say, maybe copying and pasting private keys is not always a good thing. Maybe writing paper and pen, what have you. But to me, that was significant because there's definitely a level of trust. I mean, there's bots out there, people use, and I'm not saying people are going to use this, but knowing that your private key and that you're not actually holding these shares like in your own custody, and so as long as they're a good company or they don't get hacked or what have you, wherever these private keys are stored, great. But that was a risk. So just be wary. Think of what you're doing. What is your strategy? Whether it's a short-term, strategy, manage your risk, or if it's a longer-term strategy. Again, never financial advice on this channel, folks. I'm just a dude. I'm just following crypto. This is something that's being talked about a lot. I anticipate more and more people are going to talk about it. The other downside that I could see is, and this just happens. This probably be, hype cycles and hype waves. What are you actually getting for what you're paying for? And so, there's always going to be speculation, but at some point, is there any meat and potatoes to sustain that? Like, if you're paying 2.6 ETH, for a share of Kobe, but he doesn't, really even use the platform. There's no really added benefit, to message communicated with him. Is that sustainable? But I think now it's a very speculative thing. Do I think that, from what I'm seeing, do I think that this could really turn into a very interesting concept and more benefits added to a platform? I do. Potentially even other social media sites. This really could turn into, I see the concept here. And actually, I don't really even remember when I was talking about it, but this was a long time ago, years. I haven't even talked about this in a long time. But I was reading about exponential technology years ago, and just talking with some friends, and we had a show that we hosted, put out some content, that, just discussing these types of things, of how not just financial transactions and things like that we think of in current modern, but how you could start to monetize and track social activity in this case, or even take it a step further. I remember I was talking to someone about saying, what if you could what if society rewarded good things, good behavior, and it was known, or it could be tracked by algorithms. So I could see tech like this being very interesting, and I don't know where it's going to go. It may come crashing down in the short term. It may not. It may find a good place, and maybe people find value and use in this. And I do think there's going to be an adoption curve, because there's going to be people that are going to continue to sign up. It's in beta, so it's not easy to sign up necessarily, because people need an access code. But I wouldn't say it's difficult either, because it seems like if you really want to set up, you just Twitter and find an access code and get started right away. But it is still early stages, barrier entry to some people. And also, I think that this is probably focused on mostly Twitter influencers in the crypto world at this point. But I could see this being adopted, all around. And I do think that there is something to be said, people paying for access. And at the current prices that I see, it doesn't seem like it would be a small knit group, because it doesn't seem like you're going to have. I mean, maybe if you're a big influencer, but at some point, the price seems to get so high that I don't know if the value, maybe for some people it will be, but I think it will exclude a large mass. Like on Twitter, all you got to do is hit a follow button, right? So you can have as many followers as long as the person doesn't block you. But so if there's somewhat of a barrier to entry, it can be good and it could be bad. I don't know how it's going to be used, but anyways, it's very interesting. So with that being said, this was brought to my attention. Thank you. And I think that I'm going to be looking into this platform. And so, you know, I figured let's bring it to the channel and let's, you know, share ideas, because I have a mindset, you know, the abundance mindset that, you know, there's going to be a lot of people out there, and, you know, just, you know, a few of us, we're going to be a, you know, a little fart in a windstorm probably, you know, competing against bots and, you know, hundreds of thousands of people. But if there is, you know, some little edge or some little way that we can, you know, figure out a few strategies together, or anybody has any ideas, you know, I believe that the pool is just so big that, you know, everybody can probably find a way to make something work for themselves. So I guess I've been looking at, if you run a bot, I do think that could probably be helpful, and you could probably, if you know how to tune it, you could probably find a few key metrics, like things that correlate, like maybe larger accounts or accounts that tend to have higher ETH values may tend to have, you know, more traction, and then how do you identify them? You know, do you use a bot to buy them? But if you're not buying a bot, or you can't code a bot, like I'm not coding a bot, you know, then I've got to think a little bit more about it. But there might just be rudimentary, you know, simple things like, you know, maybe you go out and you recruit and you just kind of share it. You know, maybe you have a way of just sharing with larger accounts, like, hey, sign up here, and, you know, you have a monitor or a dashboard. Maybe there's something like an analytics page. You know, there was a site that I was looking at, Friend.Max. You know, it does show, like, you know, some of the statistics, and, you know, I think that these dashboards could certainly be improved, but I think for what I'm seeing, you know, there's something to be learning here, and I think it's an ecosystem, and I think people are looking for some fun, and so, yeah, baby, let's go. I gotta get moving. I just parked, but I'll put this video up, and if you are interested in this space, tell me what you think. Put in the comments below, and you know, for now, I mean, I do have a friend, you can always check that out now, I guess. And you know, these shares are so super cheap. I don't know what I'm going to be doing with it. I don't know if I will or if I won't. I could see that, you know, there could also be a marketing perspective to this. Like, you know, in a sense, you're basically giving your own, like, coin, you know, and everyone kind of has their own, like, company. You know, I don't know, you know, since you can see who buys and sells, you know, like, I don't know if you really want to be, you know, selling. Maybe you want to be transparent. You know, do you buy your own shares? Do you buy a lot of them? Do you let people know, like, hey, here's my strategy? Like, you know, every 10, you know, I'm going to do this. We're going to do giveaways. I don't know. But I can see how things can be used. For now, I'm just going to look into it. So you don't have to, you know, buy any of my shares. But if you want to, if you want to kind of mastermind or whatever, you can follow me on Twitter. You can shoot me a DM, say, hey, I saw this video or whatnot. And, you know, we'll go from there. And, you know, I'm not going to stress out about it. I'm going to go out about my day. It was a great weekend. Hope you have a great weekend too. Cheers.